I have a problem with room sound. Room sound is the echo that you hear in this recording. It sounds like I'm sitting inside of kind of an empty hall, echoes, reverberations. I sound kind of distant. It's really not a very pleasing audio experience, and I'm cringing to do this in a second YouTube video, but I want to really drive home the point of what room sound is and how we can mitigate it. This week, I'm trying to make a YouTube studio that actually sounds halfway decent without breaking the bank. So this is my studio. It's just my bedroom, and you can see it's blank walls, a lot of glass, a lot of reflections. It's one big blank wall here, it's a blank ceiling, another blank wall over here, and then wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling glass. So it's not ideal. And I wanted to sound treat it with RLX foam, but good grief, it's foam! $155 for foam? What? I do have some requirements though. I don't want it to be very expensive. Audio foam is outrageously expensive. I don't want to just go and buy my way to a good studio. It needs to be modular so I can put it up and take it down relatively easily. And this is my bedroom. I need to make sure that I can actually live in here, sleep in here, have my fiance be happy in here. I can't make it a permanent installation for a studio living in a one-bedroom apartment in downtown Washington. And so I've got an idea. I'm going to go get some moving blankets. I'm going to find a way to mount them up here so I can surround myself with moving blankets to deaden the sound, and also get some rock wool insulation. They're big foam bats that you can hang up and put them inside of like potato sacks, mount them against the walls. I want to see what I could possibly think about there and get a mounting system for those and see how it sounds. Oh, hello, beauty. Yes, good. Well, let's get shopping. Those are very large. It is just a perfect day. Perfect. All right, total damage for 3 moving blankets, clips, and screws, $89.54. So far, I am in the black compared to getting RLX or Elgato's foam insulation, and we'll see how it sounds. All right, now follow me through my fast-paced, frantic measuring here, which really led to nothing because I just held the blanket up to see how long it needed to be. What I'm trying to do is optimize this space so that it has as few sound reflections as possible. You might know that pressure vessels are best when they're conical or when they're spherical because it prevents them from having any right angles with a lot of pressure intensely in those angles. Well, kind of a similar metaphor for sound. You don't want a lot of right angles for sound because it bounces sound off and it makes things sound like they're coming from multiple different spaces. So the marketing material for the RLX foam and the Elgato stuff is pretty slick. It says that it absorbs sound. and that it also prevents reflections. I'm not a big sophisticated audio engineer, so I don't know if that's actually true or not. The only thing I'm trying to do here is set up some absorbent panels with these big blankets to prevent sound from bouncing all over the room. You can see up there by my head right now, there's a lot of right angles in that corner alone, so I'm hoping that these blankets will just cut down on that a little bit, dampen the sound, make me a little more articulate, easier to hear, and just less echoey overall. Now I'm just going to wrap up over here. I'm just going to use binder clips to put this one blanket up here because it attaches to my curtains. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my apartment. I'm going to turn off all the things that make noise and record. And this is what it sounds like after. I'm super pleased with the way this turned out. It cost me $65. I'm going to be returning some extra hardware that I got too. It's easier for me to take down, fold the blankets up, put them under the couch, and have everything out of the way. So during my normal day-to-day life, this is just a normal bedroom. My fiance isn't upset about it. The cat's not all weirded out, and it's not a dark little cave. And the best part is, I've got full coverage all the way around me in my studio, and it only cost me $65. Getting RLX foam or Elgato foam panels, yeah, they might be a little more elegant, they can stay in place, but overall the cost would be extremely high, and it would also look kind of weird having audio panels up around my bedroom too. Now what I didn't do is I didn't use tools to actually gauge the room sound, graph it, map it, figure out frequency responses, where the bass traps need to be. I didn't do anything quite that sophisticated for a few reasons. Number one, I don't have the equipment to do it. I didn't want to spend the money to get the equipment to do it. Number two, I don't really care about somebody else's quote unquote objective goal for how a room should sound. I want it to sound good to me, to my ears, because that means it's going to be nice for me to sit in here, to record. I'll be happy with the results that I have, and I don't need to jump through hoops trying to chase somebody else's ideal of what the quote unquote perfect studio room sound really is. I would say the only thing that I'm still not super wild about is the fact that there's a lot of street noise coming through the big glass window over here. The whole wall is glass, and that's just a function of me living in a city. I can't control the traffic sounds, the police helicopters, the sirens, the horns, none of that. So all I can do is do multiple takes, try to filter that out. But overall, I would say that my home studio, my convertible home studio now, is really ready to rock and roll. Now it's time for cleanup.